So, as a child of undocumented immigrants, my entire extended family were just ghosts to me for most of my life. All I knew about them, I heard through stories, the occasional letter, and a very rare, very expensive at the time, long-distance phone calls. And so when I was 25, I decided to go to Bolivia by myself for the first time. And 7 years earlier, my mom earned her citizenship and we went to Bolivia together. My first time and her first time in 22 years. When I went the first time, I felt like a puppy dog trailing behind my mom while she went to go visit her family. But this time I was going to visit my family. And so the day after Christmas, 2017, I arrived in one of the highest airports in the world, in La Paz, to my uncles greeting me at the airport with a thermos full of coca tea. And they let me stay in their daughter's room. They carted me around from uncle to aunt, reminiscing with me. And I spent the holidays with them. We rang in the new year together. But I still hadn't met Rennert. Rennert was the social glue for our family text message threads. He's the one that didn't forget your birthday. He's the one that was constantly sharing in the group chat. And I couldn't leave this trip without having met him. And so the only problem was that I didn't have enough time to properly get a visa to enter Brazil, which is where he lived. And no problem for my aunt. My Aunt Fabiola decided that she was going to help me cross illegally and help me visit her son. And so me and my aunt hop on a bus, take the full day's journey from the Andes down into the tropics of Bolivia to the border between Bolivia and Brazil. And I'm shocked by how humble this border crossing is. No barbed wires, no armed guards, no drug-sniffing dogs, just a busload of people lined up at a little concrete building the size of a 7-Eleven. My aunt gets in the back of the line and then she points across the road, this tiny 2-lane road, at a little guard shack, and she tells me, "Hey, those guards aren't really paying attention. They're busy processing people. Just walk across this tiny little creek over the bridge and wait for me there." And so I take myself across this bridge, not too fast, not too slow, and I find a shady place under a tree to wait for my aunt. Well, several hours go by, and I still haven't seen her, and I realize I don't have a phone that works here. I do not speak Portuguese, which is the language they speak in Brazil, and I have no idea how to get to where I'm going or where I just came from. So I'm nervously pacing, trying to avoid eye contact with anybody in a uniform. And then finally, after several hours, my aunt finds me and a wave of relief washes over me. But we still have another problem. I can't legally purchase a ticket to go from the border to Sao Paulo, Brazil, because I don't have documentation. And so we spend the afternoon hunting for what my aunt calls a clandestine bus line. which means one that doesn't ask too many questions. And so we do find one, pay cash. We're promised no paperwork. But when we do find the bus, they ask me for my passport. I comply, hand these two Portuguese men, the Brazilian men, my passport. And I'm watching everybody load up their mystery bundles into the bottom of this bus. And now they're finding their seats, and I still don't have my passport. And I'm a savvy traveler. I've heard the stories. That's how you get kidnapped. So I'm not getting on this bus until I get my passport back. The blue one that sticks out from the rest of the passports. And so me and my aunt have to make a scene with these two men because they're not giving us a reason that I can't get my passport back. And out of frustration or they just ran out of time, they needed to get on the road, they gave me my passport. And I spent the 48-hour bus ride from the border to Sao Paulo catching up on 25 years of birthdays, memories, holidays, childhood stories of my mom that I never heard before. At the bus terminal, my very worried cousin Renner was waiting for us, and he took us around Brazil for a lovely 10 days, and he took me dancing with his wife and sister-in-law. He took me to a real Brazilian churrascaria to eat meat off of swords, and he took me to my first real Brazilian beach experience. And as I was saying my goodbyes to get on the bus ride back to La Paz with my aunt, I realized that I hadn't been so scared on this really strange new world because I had her as my travel companion. And she had the exact same stubborn attitude, no holds barred spirit, adventurous spirit that my mom has. And I felt like it felt so familiar to me. And I knew then that no matter the distance or the time that passes, these people would love and support me no matter what. Thank you.